The upcoming England election could be more important for the markets and your money than many investors are thinking about right now. Welcome to Trading Nation. I'm Brian Sullivan. Boris Schlossberg of BK Asset Management, Craig Johnson with Piper Jaffray are your guests today. Craig, I'll begin with you. Listen, it's especially after the horrible attacks in Manchester, we've seen the polls change a little bit. There's some concern about what might happen after the election as well. Is there a way for you to chart this? Is this something that you guys at Piper are watching? And if so, how closely?
Well, Brian, we're definitely watching it, and we look at many different asset classes and many different markets. And the way we do it is we look at the charts. So we're going to look at currency charts first. So if we look at the pound to the dollar, we look at it, we've been this consolidating sideways. So post the first election that occurred, we've just been kind of consolidating sideways between about 120 and 130. So it doesn't seem to be a huge event for investors at this point in time. Now compare that with the next chart, which is a chart of the FTSE 100. And that's making all-time new highs. So at this point in time, markets seem to be not particularly worried about this election coming up, given they remain fairly calm.
Okay, Boris, we've got this election. You're more of a sort of a big picture macro guy out there. How close are you watching this election? And what do you think the outcome is going to be? And what do you think the market reaction is going to be?
I'm watching it very closely, and in fact, I think it could be a more important election than the European elections we just had. And the reason why is because I think everybody is going to be very surprised. What we have here is essentially a consensus view that the UK was that Prime Minister May was going to run away with this election. In fact, she called the snap election precisely because she thought she was going to get a supermajority in the parliament. Now she finds herself in a very, very tough battle against an opponent who is hated by 80% of his own party. This is what's absolutely amazing. She's been able to bungle what seems to be a sure thing. And there seems to be quite a lot of rebellion amongst the UK populace. She seemed to have really misread, I think, a lot of the UK voters. So even if she wins, but actually loses her majority status, or doesn't gain her majority status, that is going to be perceived as a loss for the pound and a loss for UK assets, because she's going to be in a much weaker position to negotiate the Brexit with the European Commission. And I think that's the interesting story here. I don't expect her to lose, but I don't expect her to win big, and that could be a very, very interesting story for the markets.
All right, well, the UK election, the latest geopolitical thing that we've got to be watching every day on CNBC. We're learning a lot about global politics, I will say that. Craig and Boris, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Folks, just something else to put on your radar. Watch, obviously, CNBC for the latest updates on that election when it occurs. I'm Brian Sullivan. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.